Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Bruce Ahn. I'm the head of adoption at Partisia blockchain. And we're going to talk about the data market 3.0. So right now, the current industry is the Web 2.0 data economy. Who knows what data economy really is? What is a data market? It's really the market of buying and selling your data. So things like Facebook, things like Google, um, people that actually buy healthcare information as an example. This is the data market. You're buying and selling users' data. But what happens after you sell the data? After you sell your data, you lose control of it. So the Web 2.0 data economy means that you sell your data and then you lose control of that data. And then when the data is sold, you're really selling it at a point in time. So when the data is bought by somebody, it's actually stale data. And there's always like increase of bots and AIs, right, as an example. If you're browsing the web and Google is collecting your data, as an example, well, over 50% of that data is bot related. So even Google is having trouble getting accurate data from people. And this is the problem with the Web 2.0 data economy. And ultimately, in the end, when that data is sold, that data is stored in a centralized location, and people lose control over it. And you've seen many places where there were data leaks or private data was sold without permission. And there's many different stories about that that's been happening around the last 5 to 10 years, actually. So how can we help? How can Partisia blockchain help? So Partisia blockchain's expertise is with secure multi-party computation. And at a high level, what secure multi-party computation allows you to do is to compute on private information without leaking that information. So as an example, let's say that in Denver, we want to find out between the ages of 45 and 55, who has this kind of a lifestyle, that has this kind of a cancer, wants to take this kind of a therapy, what is their mortality rate? Well, that mortality rate, to find that information, you need access to private health information. So how do you get that information without leaking the personal data? And that's what Partisia's multi-party computation allows you to do, compute on private information. So what does that mean from a blockchain perspective? In the traditional smart contract blockchain, let's take a survey as an example. All of the information here is public. Let's say we have Bob, Alice, and Terry, and they're putting a survey on multiple different questions. It's a yes or a no, scale, multiple choice, or a different selection. Favorite vacation spot is Paris, Singapore, UAE, et cetera, et cetera. Well, all of this information is publicly viewable on the blockchain. And private information is not possible in the traditional system. But with Partisia blockchain's unified public and private smart contract, we can actually privatize this information. So all of the answers that Bob, Alice, and Terry is giving in the blockchain itself is hidden. So how does that work? How does MPC really work, right? It sounds like magic if you're able to actually compute on this private information. And the way it works is that you're actually removing the context of your answer. So let's say my favorite color was blue. That's my favorite color. But I want to keep that private. So how do you do that on the blockchain? What we do is we remove the context by splitting up the answer blue into multiple different pieces. Maybe it's the letter B, letter L, letter U, letter E. And each of the nodes get these split up information in different parts of the network. That way the context of my answer blue is removed and nobody really knows what that answer is. But we can still compute on that answer even though my private information of blue is never leaked outside. So what does that mean? We have all these different surveys as an example. You have different questions with different people that are putting in private information. All of those are hidden in the blockchain. You can't read it anymore, even though if you scan it. But still be able to compute on these answers. What is the highest rate for this yes or no question, right? What is the average of question number 2? What is the multiple choice favorite banking? What is the favorite institution, as an example? Or maybe where's your location at? And all of these information, while it's still hidden inside the blockchain, we can still compute the answers out of it. So in that example, the healthcare information, the mortality rate of people in Denver between the ages of 45 and 55 who has this type of a cancer, and what is their mortality rate. Without leaking the information of the user, you can still compute on it and get useful information for people like researchers that want to research and find out how effective is this cancer treatment. So that's what the Web3 data economy really is. It is a change from selling and buying of data to the selling and buying and the exchange, the use of the data, and not the data itself. The user still maintains control of their personal information, and you're basically renting it out. You're saying, hey, compute on this data. You can still you can't look at my data, but I'll allow you to compute on it. So the user remains in control of their own data and allows a use of their data. The other benefit that you get is that this analysis can be done in real time. So now, all of these data collectors that are getting stale data, that is getting data that's collected by bots, that is created by bots, now has the access to be able to get real-time data so that they can make decisions and snap. That's the power of the Web 3.0 data economy. And projects currently building on Partisia is doing exactly that. We have the SID, Ballot Box, Verita, Monadi. We're working with governments, Health and Innovation Exchange. We're working with Web3 companies that are providing ad revenues back to the users. This is an incredibly powerful system that changes how data is bought and sold. So the industry market analysis. The big data analytics market size is $270 billion. 80% of the companies are using stale data. They need access to real-time data, but they can't get it. 56% of web traffic right now is generated by bots. So how is Facebook, how is Google supposed to get real data, accurate data, when most of the data is already just created by bots? It's not real people. This is the power of multi-party computation, and this is the power that Partisia blockchain is bringing back also to IODEX, because IODEX is the leader in DePIN, and DePIN really is all about data. So we're partnering with IODEX to allow for the privatized data in the IoT devices to be accessible and be computed on, so that people, when they share their data, they're able to monetize on that data, but still own the control of it. So please connect with us to learn more. If you like this slide, you can scan this and get a copy of this deck. And thank you guys for your attention.